First time I came in here, I just got absolutely slaughtered by everybody. I left like bloodied and beat up, and I was like, I'm gonna do this forever.
Make sure that I know that if somebody's wearing a black belt from me, they know a certain amount of material and they have had their heart fucking examined, their character examined in front of everybody. The Shark Tank is a gut check. It's a gameness test. Gameness is a word that is extremely important to me and therefore to everybody in the gym. Gameness means the willingness to continue trying to win. It's not the willingness to take a beating. It's not resigning yourself to your fate and accepting the terrible. It is continuing to fight regardless of the outcome. Right? Like, it doesn't matter how hopeless it is. It doesn't matter that you are set up doomed to fail. It matters that you continue to fight with all your heart no matter what's happening, right? So that's one thing. So you can't really, you heard that thing where it says fatigue makes cowards of us all, right? Like, there's a level of hopelessness and lack of success that brings out the worst in your character. And you can't know what you are or know how good you are at holding that off or fighting against that demon. It's like, to practice fighting that demon, you first got to bring it out, right? It's like, if you want to get strong at lifting weights, you got to have fucking access to weights. If you want to get good at juggling, you got to have access to fucking objects to juggle. If you want to get good at fighting off that demon, you have to bring that demon out and face it. But the problem is, the only way to do that is to get stupid tired against hopeless odds, right? So it's rare that anybody ever actually finds that training space. And yeah, it's really rare because it takes a lot of help and a lot of people. You got to have fresh people. You got to have exorbitant amount of time to do it. You can't do it all the time. It's really hard on your body and your mind. So it's like, it's a bit of a rite of passage and a test of character to go through it. That said, it's more than just displaying a bunch of heart. It actually tests a lot of the qualities of character that you develop by being what I would expect of a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. We go up from white belts all the way up, right? By the time you start getting to the tougher people, now you're going to challenge your character in seeing how you handle adversity when you're tired. Because these guys are tough and they're gunning for you. You're going to see how you handle the character of not doing as well as you should against people that you normally beat. Because when you're not fucking exhausted, maybe you handle Larry fucking well. But today, Larry feels like Superman because you're fucking smoked by the time you get to Larry. So now we get to see what your character is like when you start to underperform in a situation where you normally do well in front of a bunch of people. So we get to see, can you put your ego aside and just be in the moment, or do you get stuck on the fact that you usually beat Larry and today you're not beating Larry? Do you give in to those feelings of like, I feel like I'm being picked on, I feel like I'm failing, I feel like everybody's laughing at me? Like, we get to see your character in those moments of self-doubt and a little bit of ego. And then when you get to the upper belts, like when you get to the top guys, we get to see how you handle taking a beating with no hope. Like, do you continue to put up and try even though you know it's pointless? or do you kind of just let it happen to you? You know what I mean? Like, and pretend to put up, but you're not really. So like, there's a whole bunch of different nuanced elements of character check that are in that go way past how do you handle being fucking exhausted. I mean, how do you handle being exhausted is part of it for sure, but there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot more to it than that. And there's a lot, you expose a lot of people's character development in that drill. Like, a lot of people that consider themselves of high character don't make it.